Police. My name is Ron and I'll be assisting you this afternoon. Just give us a few moments as we are still waiting for some of our vice presidents. Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to the launching of the AIMS project for the coming academic year. My name is Ron, and I'll be your host for this afternoon's activity. Please all rise for our doxology, the Philippine National Anthem, and the singing of the AIMS hymn.
Maging ang kalawakan ay nabuo sa pamamagitan ng iyong salita. Hinati mo ang sa bawat tingin ng hangin. Ang lahat ng iyong mga biyaya, ang lahat ng iyong pagmamahal. Salamat sa pag-ibig mo, maging sa buhay ko ito, ang aking ingatan mo. Ang biyaya
Dakilang lumikha, nagpupuri kami't nagpapasalamat sa iyong walang hanggang biyaya. Patuloy kaming sasamba, magdiriwang at magpupugay sa iyong pagpapala. Ikaw ang buhay, pag-asa at liwanag ng mundo. Patuloy mo kaming ingatan at hinakapin sa hiwaga ng pag-ibig mo.
salamat sa pag-ibig mo, maging sa buhay ko ito, ang aking ingatan mo. side. These are the times when my behavior sad. You love no matter be young and fine, and you're by the side. Which meant integrity, mastery, and service. As the family, and we got us a master, we shall sail the world. Hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail. Mighty aim sails high, the ocean bright. These special times, we are waves. You love no matter, searching and holding the single students, full of destination from you. Can go anywhere as a family, and we got us a master, we shall sail no more. Hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail. As a family, and we got us a master, we shall sail no more. Hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail, hailing sail. We are waves.
We may now take our seats. Thank you. To formally open our activity this afternoon, may we call on stage our Vice President for Student Affairs, Ms. Janet Abwid Tandan, for her opening remarks. Ma'am?
Good afternoon. To our President, welcome back, Ma'am Arlene Abwid Padaranga. Our CEO, Dr. Felicito Dalaguete. Vice President for Administration, Engineer Tedolfo Cada. Vice President for Finance, Mrs. Elisa Abwid Kayab. Vice President for CPD, Captain Lino Paterno Padaranga. Welcome back, sir. To our VP for Academics, Sir Lambert Mindanao. AVP Finance, Ms. Jeanette Dalida. AVP Quality, Ma'am Joy Garner. To our Executive Director, all the deans, all the directors, all the department heads, school heads, unit heads, sino pa ang nandito? To each and every one of you, a very pleasant good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you who have been with us for a long time now as well. On our 29th Foundation celebration, if you have been here for 29 years, 20 months, or 9 weeks, as well as those who have newly joined us, who have come on board to this institution, welcome. and congratulations on our 29th foundation celebration. This week marks a very important milestone. So this is the 29th foundation celebration, just a few months actually, shy of the official 30th founding anniversary. When I say founding anniversary, it's the corporate anniversary of AIMS. I believe this year, together with the launching of projects that we have lined up this afternoon to present to you, marks a very special time in anticipation of the 30th. So 29 is just as special. So before we get started, I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to those who have generously helped to make this event come together and become a success. I am sure each and every one of you are part of a committee or an event in one way or another. But for this afternoon, the committee members for this launch, with the chair, Dr. Felicita Dalaguete, that committee members, Sir Hayden, Ma'am Joy, Miss Gigi, and Sir Ronel, thank you very much for this afternoon's activity. We couldn't have done it without you. This year's theme, AIMS, Raised to the 29th Power, Exponential Transformation in High-Flex Education. Coming out of the lockdowns and into the rapidly increasing digital learning, not only our students, but all of us have learned to adapt to. AIMS emerged from the wave and an exponential transformation is about to happen. And as chairperson of this event, we celebrate this feat with a comeback of high-flex events, from online debates and webinars to the WPA Cup and its thrilling basketball and volleyball games and the much-awaited student night. We missed the cheers, we missed the noise, a beautiful noise, if I may say, of the students in the campus. We also can't keep on hold the students' skills and talents in the musical, literary, and the performing arts, as evidenced by this morning's opening of the Hiraya exhibit, and as well as the coming events, AIMS Got Talent, and the campus ambassadors. We are also hosting new events such as the open house and the invitational high school dance competition. Looking forward to that. More are in store for the AIMS community, so please watch, support, and participate in them. And in the next hour, you will be learning about the different initiatives with the launching from our different departments through our planned programs and special events. I hope this will help you see how AIMS is ever-changing and in keeping to its commitment to excellent education. Again, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Happy 29th Foundation celebration and congratulations to everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Ms. Janet Abidandan, Vice President for Student Services. Now, let's have our beloved Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Felicito P. Dalaguete, for his launching message. Sir?
Thank you very much, Ron. Hi. I know you are enjoying the Foundation Day. On the 22nd will be our Recognition Day. Why are we here today? The launching of AIMS major activities, major programs, and major projects. And we are gathering almost all the department heads, the directors, meaning the leaderships of our schools, of our departments are here. The launching is something that we should look forward in the 29th in the 30th foundation anniversary of AIMS. This is just a springboard. All activities in the 29th foundation are springboard for the 29th bigger celebration. And that celebration will not be a successful one without preparing a year ahead. And after this foundation, we will be preparing the 30th foundation of AIMS. For all of us as leaders in the institution, we should know by heart the roadmap to institutional and program excellence. For the last 25 years of AIMS existence, we did our best to comply the minimum standard requirements. The last 3 years, we tried our best to move forward, and because of this pandemic, we have not really intensified going farther for excellence. But this 30th foundation, it's really a question of, you are there, compliance to the minimum. How far will you move forward? So it's not anymore compliance to the minimum. It's more of the excellence that we are talking about. And one very important thing that we should look at is the quality control mechanism. All of us, department heads, directors, are responsible in ensuring that we are providing this quality. Framework has been the guidance in ensuring our operational readiness, our process management, and of course, our productivity management. If we look at our quality control management, from the minimum compliance, this one, we move forward by establishing our quality standard system to ensure sustainability of this quality control. And we look at the internal quality assurance, management review, and risk management as our tools in ensuring quality control. And many of you are familiar with what are the contents of this. We are talking about our manuals, our meetings, our maps, e-maps, and our RAMP program, the Star DG programs that we implemented 2 years ago. Hayaan nyo yung kamay ko, talagang hindi na masyadong, para bang tumanda na tayo sa AIMS eh. Kaya napapansin ko, talagang magalaw na. All of this, we always look at the institutional certification as the output of all our, parang akin to Oo nga, akin nga. Walang protocol eh. Okay. And we did our best for 25 years. We have our certification. We got our certification. ISO, we have our PACOCOA, institutional, and program accreditation. Can we move upward? Then we look at the Ajax, as I think we established Ajax 2 years ago. Alex? Where's Alex? 2 years ago. The intention of Ajax, but the office just started a year ago, is to ensure that we are complying always in the minimum and anticipating development for higher level accreditation. And all of you are part of the Ajax Pre-Alert program. Okay. Last year, when we had our corporate development with AIMS, we presented in the corporate members of the incorporators a business model in education, improving. Of course, our focus of business is providing programs, our services, to our community in maritime. We have now our complete program. From high school, we have our feeder high school. We have our certification program. We have our BS program, master's degree, and doctoral program. We have completed all the levels of the program. And that this will lead to the dream of Ames to become a university in the future. Pahawakan ko na to kay Pelson, parang... So, we are not alone. Ames has been working closely with several associations. Please raise the slide. More. Okay. So if we look at, we have been engaging for 28 years, this 29th year partnership with professional industry associations, organizations, and we have been very successful in this. We have been doing with shipping business, logistics and supply chain industry, then government agency, and of course, we are also engaged with some of the maritime higher education institutions. Hindi naman natin masabi na nagli-leading na tayo ngayon. But we are on the lead. We are one of the top 10 of the maritime higher education institution in the Philippines. Ipagmalaki naman natin yan. Palakpakan natin. By heart, tanggapin natin yan. Ayaw ba ninyong tanggapin yan? You should be proud of being a part of Ames. Because if you are not proud of being a part of Ames, then you lose control of yourself. You lose your mind of having quality control. So kailangan, by heart, tanggapin natin yan. And how could be a part of this being proud of Ames? So these linkages of ours, of course, we look at Ames ever since we said that Ames should be a knowledge exchange center. And Ames should be a knowledge exchange hub in maritime. That's why we are talking of a maritime policy development. Right now, we have people, we have resource persons with CHED, with Marina. In fact, our alumni, we have alumni already with Marina as resource person in policy development. Meaning, Ames as an institution has been recognized by government of its expertise in doing policies and standards with the programs, with the maritime industry sectors. Then, COVID-19 came in 2020. We were not caught flat-footed during the time because as early as 2015, nag-start na tayo ng, I think the project is DCIAS, our registration system. Then from DCIAS, we have our Nefela Web. So in other words, Ames had been there for the technology. The only reason that we were not able to maximize that before the pandemic, because policy of government provides almost all face-to-face. But when the pandemic came in, Ames was practically partly ready for that. And we were not, the difficulty is just part of adjustment. And we were successful in this 3-year pandemic period, up to this time. So if we look at, how will we look at now after the pandemic? The 3 years. So we look at educational technology development, management. When you say educational technology, it goes also with what? There are 5 factors that we should look at. We are empowering our students. The concept of spoon-feeding teaching is not anymore in the market. The concept of enhancing teaching. Teachers are not anymore just simply sitting in the corner of the classroom or simply relating to the student. Not anymore. It should be an interactive discussion with the students. Then we look at extensive resources, especially in digital technology, because that's the trend. We are not only working for Ames on digitization, but we are training our students because they will be exposed in the next 5 years a full digitization of the industry. In fact, it's late. Many of the industry has been there even before the pandemic. Even government processing, government documentations are digital in nature. So everybody should be there. We will not go back to the traditional, and that's the drive. how AIMS could be a digital education resource development center. Then, up please. All of this, even if you have the technology, you have the physical resources, the human resources is a very important thing. That's why you are here for us to start thinking aloud, how could we help AIMS as coordinators, department heads, directors of the different schools in ensuring effective administration? And that effective administration, we are talking of the efficacy of quality assurance management. Why are we having this quality assurance management? It's not just for documentation. Make your quality assurance effective and efficient in doing things. And we look at resources development engagement. Everyone, everybody should be there. The purpose is productivity level management. Let's make a very cost-effective revenue-generating program in the next 30 years. In addressing digital education landscapes, we are talking of the future. Our graduates today will be exposed in the next 5 years technology. So what do you look at? As we have said, we will not go back to traditional teaching, a hybrid mode of delivery, including our business transactions in offices. So we always look at the philosophical management of AIMS. And that philosophical management of AIMS is, from the founder, we may not change the direction of the wind, but as one family, we can always adjust our sails to reach the port of destination. And for 25 years, why we reach this 25 years? We have this doctrine of actions in us. And that doctrine of action is engaging few steps. We always do that. And making longer leaps for breakthrough to progress. And this manifests our resiliency and responsiveness to the times for the changing needs, requirements of our interested parties. Up, please. So we look at, as we celebrate in the 30th foundation, that will be on the 2024, how do we look at in 2034, after 13 years? What educational business diversity modeling that we should look at and be part of it, and aims for 50 years in 2044. Will you still be there? Maybe for sure, I will not be there in 2050. By that time, ilang taon na ba ako? But, of course, your generation will be here. The more you stay here at AIMS, the more you can bring in your younger generation here for the next 50 years. And with that, are you in? Yes, we are. And yes, we can make success in the next 50 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Felicito P. Dalagete, our Chief Executive Officer. Sir, thank you so much for that. By the way, we'd like to, of course, welcome our friends from the Maritime Media, Mr. Alex Timbol. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, sir. And, of course, our guests from the our security partners. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And also, we are live via our official YouTube page. Yan. So that's part of the services that we are already offering right now as part of the enhancement of our AIMS experience. And of course, after that very well said kickoff of our activity this afternoon, may we call on our Executive Director, Mr. Robert Hayden Jr. for our branding and marketing projects. Sir?
Thank you very much, Ron. Good afternoon. I'd like to acknowledge again our chief executives here present, starting off with our President, our dynamic President, Dr. Arlene Abuid Padiranga, and the quality management leadership of our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Felicito Dalaguete, our Vice President for Student Services, Ma'am Janet Abudandan, our Vice President for Finance, Ms. Elisa Kayab, our VP for Administration, Engineer Ted Cada, our VP for Professional Development, Captain Padiranga, our VPAA, Dr. Lambert Mindanao, our AVP for Finance, Ma'am Janet Dalida, and our AVP for Quality Assurance, Ma'am Joy Garner, to all of the deans, directors, students, our distinguished guests from the media, good afternoon. I'm here to present about the branding and marketing under the communications office under the Office of the President. Now, why branding and marketing? Branding and marketing is supposed to create awareness of what you have in the program. It has to send out the correct information of what you are trying to reach the market. And you have to create intention for them to join us, to be part of the institution. And you have to convince them to make a decision to make Ames their final destination when they reach their tertiary level of education. So a lot of the things that you have seen on top are the regular things that we do in the marketing campaign of any school. These are the practices. Identify senior high school. So your feeder schools, communicate with the senior high schools in the correct programs that are appropriate for Ames. Career talks, program talks with target senior high schools. MOA, MOU with industry partners that we could have also in the presentation that Dr. Dalaguete showed a while ago, and lecture, workshops, and contests. These are not done by all universities and colleges. Only a few does this. This is also part of a deliberate marketing program for them. One idea that came up with is a telemarketing program or a BPO for Ames. So we have a lot of future students who took the exams, but after taking the exams, do we follow up? We now have to create a follow-up scheme. So create a program for telecommunicators or telecom marketers to call those who took the exam and pass and tell them, hi, I'm Rob, I'm from Ames. We're glad to inform you that you have passed the entrance examination. Would you like to know more about the programs of Ames, or have you already decided on what program you're going to take? And then carry on. Try to convince them in that it'll only take about 5 to 10 minutes per call. These usually are done during the last 3 months before graduation. That's the time the students and the parents make decisions. Some parents, some students, they make decisions at the beginning of their grade 12. But some, you can still change their mind in the last 3 months before they graduate senior high school. So these telecommunication marketers are very important. We have to change their minds and convince them to make a decision to join Ames. Direct marketing. So these telemarketers are going to be like the call centers. It's an outbound, not inbound at answering calls. It's an outbound. You call the students who took the exam. Even if they just inquired, you can call them back if they didn't take the exam. Try to convince them to take the exam. Another innovative approach on marketing is to have a traveling exhibit. The Museo Maritimo is here, but because of the DepEd rule that they cannot have activities outside, or they have to inform the division that they have to go out. And we bring Museo Maritimo to the schools that we are partnering with. So the senior high schools that we have in the list, we bring Museo Maritimo to them. It's an educationally rich traveling exhibition. Then we incorporate program talks. It's a creative way of marketing the programs, not only the museo. What are the benefits of a traveling exhibition? They're proven to drive new visitors to existing venues. So they saw some of the exhibits, they want to see more, so they visit. Increase awareness of the Museo Maritimo. It's already there. We have to create awareness. And if they visit the museo, they're actually visiting the campus. Opportunities for dynamic partnership and cross-promotions. Career talks. So during the exhibit, the admissions team can do their career talks during that time in the program talk. And foundation week of the high school that we are going to. Select specifically to appeal to certain demographics of targeted communities. So those who have tracks that are aligned with the programs offered at Ames. Publicity opportunities and ongoing promotional publicity support for Ames marketing coordinators and offices. So during the exhibit, it could be pocket activities that we could go back there and do program talks and other talks that they would require. These are an example. So here you have something about the museo. This is just a perspective. This is it's a trifold. So this is something from the museo and another part at the back. And one slide has the program of Ames with the career opportunities after you graduate. So you're promoting the museo and the programs of Ames in one exhibit. And of course, this is a sample program. So we have an opening exhibit, so welcome remarks from the host school, so the principal or the LGU, if we could partner with them. Exhibit overview, somebody from Ames will talk about the exhibit. Program talk can be repeated during the duration of the exhibit, so the admissions team would be there to talk about the different programs of Ames. Ribbon cutting, like what we did a while ago in the exhibit. In the tour of exhibits, somebody from the curator or maybe a student will be telling them about what the exhibit is. And of course, we have a booth station for inquiry on programs and other things that they could learn. So the duration of the exhibit could be 1 week up to 4 weeks. So the more they stay, the more awareness we can create. One more thing is paid social media ads. We have already social media advertisements uploaded on our social media channels, but these are not paid social media. Paid social media advertising is something that, the place, like a 6-second advertisement, which could run while you're searching on Facebook, while could run when you're watching on YouTube, while could run while you're doing something on Instagram or on Google. And it's targeted that will reach a specific market that we are trying to make be part of Ames. Yep, it's an ever-developing landscape, and this is the best part since technology is now within the palm of your hand. Okay, now with brand vision, we have to send out the values we have. We have to create the desired future environment and a brand purpose. So, rethinking, rebranding, restructuring. So these are the elements that we already have. The name is Ames. The packaging is, it's the home of Maritime Engineering and Heritage Knowledge Exchange, or Knowledge Hub. Our character is anchored on the values of achievement, integrity, mastery, and service. And the quality, of course, is commitment to produce resilient leaders for the seafaring, maritime, business, engineering, and heritage education-related industry. Our logo is the Ames Maritime Wheel. And our slogans are We Are Ames, Experience Ames, and Ames yan. Now, what sets us apart from the other HEI? So this is it. We're the specialized maritime higher education institutions committed to the development of the Philippine maritime industry. Everybody here knows that. Nation-building commitment to organizing management principles of Ames and to seek positively influence stakeholders in its community. We all know it, but they don't know it. So we have to create an awareness for this one. We Are Ames refers to people already here in institute. That's us. We are Ames. Experience Ames refers to observation or participation. They just come here, they visit. Ames yan, referring to the identity of a specific person already inside Ames. But we need people to be with us. So, paki-play. Actually, nagpe-play na siya dito. Pero, so that's the new program, marketing program campaign of Ames. Raise your destiny. In other schools, they have your future begins here. In other schools, they have learn different. But in Ames, we raise your destiny. You don't only reach your destiny, we raise your destiny. You assemble here at Ames. You innovate, you be creative with the program and the learning activities you have. You manage your time as a student. If you are a student athlete, you manage your time as a student athlete. If you are a student leader, you manage your time as a student leader. And when you graduate, you can sail beyond your dreams of becoming the best of who you are. It's a process. It's not only I have one more slide, the last one. So if you can see, assemble is building. It's for the School of Engineering and Architecture. Innovate is for creativity. It's in the School of Heritage Education. Manage, it's about running things. It's in the School of Maritime Business. And sail, since we are a maritime school, sail is for the School of Merchant Marine. These are the programs of Ames. Destiny is where you want them to become. Raising their destiny is the job of Ames. So how did they get here? Discover it here. Be Ames. Be one of us so you can raise your destiny. Thank you very much. We have pins, although they're limited edition as of now. But some of them will be coming out soon.
Thank you so much, Dean Robert Hayden Jr. Yes, thank you so much for that. At this juncture, we would like to call back on stage our CEO, Dr. Felicito P. Dalaguete, to give us a glimpse of the next project. Sir?
Thank you very much again. Hi, I'm here again. My role now is on security. You know, I remember myself, I was once a security officer. I used to be a detective at Robinson Department Store. Because of course of my training in military, I am a full officer of the military, but I failed to practice military. I went to school, to Ames. Launching Ames Integrated Safety Contingency Management, the ISCM, this is first of a kind here at Ames. We did our security perspectives for 25 years, but this time we are looking comprehensively. But prior to that, Ames raising its destiny connotes that we did our best to comply. our next destiny after 30 years onward, it's not compliance. It's beyond compliance. It's about excellence. And the hashtag said by we are AIMS, we are AIMSians, and the last one is be AIMS. Do we have that kind of perspective in us? Especially those who have been with AIMS for 15, 20 years. We will have our recognition of 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. It's very important to know ourselves if we are AIMS. And if you are talking about AIMS, you should be proud of it again. And for 25 years, we are now moving towards 30 years. What we earned, what we developed in business, together with you, must be protected and preserved for the next generation to come. Otherwise, we lose the business. We lose you. That's why this integrated safety management system is something that we should also look into. What's the rationale of having our AIM safety perspectives? The first one is, it is grounded on human resource well-being. The development of the corporation depends on the human resource. And the business, how the business is secured for the human resource to grow and develop themselves. Of course, how are we ready? During the COVID-19, we said that we are ready, but totally we are not. And there are lapses that we should look at. Comes again a big disaster. Sabi nga nila, there's a big dome coming. Sana wala. But it's happening in other countries. And we should be ready. Preparedness of our resources. At all times. We're talking about all times. And of course, by doing this will lead to the roadmap of institutional and program excellence of AIMS. Utmost safety should be number one. It should be in our heart. Sabi nga nila, safety is everyone's responsibility. It's not with the security agency. It's not with the security guard. It's in us. All the workers is part of the safety responsibility. As we diversify business with AIMS, coming digitization, then the demand for capability building, we are increasing our resources, we are expanding our human resources, our technology. All of this requires safety and protection. And the IECM project covers 3 areas. That's why we are explaining this to you, because you are a part of implementing the IECM. The part 1 of the IECS is the manual development. And the manual is there. There is a brochure already in your hand that covers the brief of the manual. Then we have the part 2 is the implementation stage. For all of us, not only to read the manual, but in ourselves, it should be inherent in everyone, safety consciousness. In everything we do, we should be conscious about safety and security. And that should be a value changing. And that will not take only today and tomorrow. It will take time for that kind of culture to develop, to be safety conscious. And that's why the implementation, there is such part 2 of implementation. And the part 3 is practically certification. We cannot get out from the trend. Safety and security certification is there. Environmental protection is there. That's part of safety. We did already our ISO certification, and that's the springboard for other specialized certification. And that is the concept of IECM, the specialized certification for safety and for environmental protection. The IECM is generally, to give us an idea, is to ensure business continuity. By having business continuity here at AIMS, we always have that corporate development planning, the institutional development planning. Your business will continue to grow if you have a very good plans, well-implemented plans. And it's not just a plan of yesterday. It's a plan even tomorrow or the next 50 years. Then we look at safety contingency program. And for 28 years, we have a very lean organization of security in the campus, concentrating on protecting of life and property only. But comprehensively, if we look at, there are other important, essential ingredients of ensuring safety and security to AIMS. So what's the features? So nabanggit ko na yan. I think in the brochure you have also the very features of IECM. Kaya sinasabi natin integrated safety. The details of this will be explained by some of our speakers. We did a cluster for the last 6 months. Mr. Ronel Hilisanya is here. Yeah. So with our EVP Joy Garner, EVP Janet Daleda, sila yung mga key players in our safety and security development. So they have been meeting for 6 years to develop the manual. Of course, they have clusters, members, directors. There are directors who are also members of the clusters. 6 months. 6 months manual development, huh? So this is the phases of development. We have 3 areas of safety management. We have 3 manuals. The BC, Business Contingency Plan and Execution Management, the BCPEM. That one. Then we have the Resources Security Management. And we have when we say resources, that covers 3. The material, the physical, the human resources, and the financial resources. And we have the quality assurance. Quality assurance of AIM has been there since 1999. But we need to look at security on documentations, trade or corporate security. Cyber attack is always there, a threat. So we look at our quality standard system, our file management system, as we are responding to the demand for digitization. How are we secured with this? How are we protecting from the threats? And these are part of the quality assurance information security management system. So all of this, at the end of the day, we always maintain ISO as 9001 as the backbone of our specialized certification for safety and security certification, as well as for environmental certification. So we hope that you will be able to get a part of the discussion. Our speakers will be coming in to discuss the specific resources safety management, BCPAM, as well as the quality assurance. Can we call them to present?
Thank you so much, Dr. Felicita P. Dalagete, our Chief Executive Officer, sir, for giving us a briefer on the ISCM. And to further give us the details, may we call on, for the first part, Colonel Natalio E. Hyson, our Director for the Safety and Security Office, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ma'am Arlene and other VPs, AVPs, especially to my good friend, our CEO, the ever energetic and capable CEO, Doc Chito Dalagiti. Actually, we are given only 8 minutes for every security feature of the ICM. I was holding my Codigo manuscript just in case I'm not as good as the two previous speakers on the IC. I am assigned to present the first safety security feature, which is the Business Contingency Plan Execution Management, or the BCPEM. There are many abbreviations here that I am not yet familiar, but I'm trying to catch up. Please bear with me. I am still acclimatizing and immersing the AIM system, the academic world, from the world of command to the academic world. First, I'd like to define the BCPM. It is the master plan in the strategic planning and emergency actions in case of disruptive disaster and or calamity that stops or greatly affects the usual business operation then it has the first framework is the BCPM. The other two is the RCM and the QEISM, which will be presented by other two presenters. So, the facilitation of school-wide development provides established and consistently conducted institutional planning on corporate planning, long-term development plan. Time frame is 10-year plan. The medium-term development plan, MTDP, a 5-year plan, and the strategic planning strat plan, 1 year. The BCPM aligns execution management of the other two safety security clusters in terms of readiness exercises relative to immediate actions on evacuation and containment, during disaster and or calamity, to include cybersecurity attack and or any prolonged disruption of school-wide operations. Now, the BCPM framework, the key processes, QSP1, two and three of the BSP KPs illustrate the outputs in conformity with illustrated key inputs. So, the shown framework also covers The Cordiv Disaster Readiness Inventory, QSP-1, Strat Plan Development Management and Emergency Readiness Execution Management, QSP-2, and the CDRI and SPD ERE Assessment and Evaluation Management, QSP-3. So, and the outputs. So the effectiveness and efficiency of BCPM programs shall be manifested by periodic compliance with regulatory standards, thus permit, certificate, license authority, and are updated on emergency readiness and preparedness for disruptive prolonged emergencies are well demonstrated. So as shown in the framework, the process will deliver the outputs as mentioned, the permit, certificate, license, and authority. I think for the purpose and scope, please, as shown, feel free to read the brochures that we provided. In concluding, the BCPM contingency plan shall be annually reviewed, evaluated, enhanced, responsive to the statutory, regulatory requirements and institutional developments. So I think that is all for my presentation. That ends my presentation on BCPM. With this, let me remind each one of us on the basic safety principle that safety is everyone's responsibility. Again, good day, mabuhay. Next is the video presentation on the readiness preparedness, which will be shown.
Dear beloved guests, safety is paramount to our business success and we focus on delivering safe operation every day. We are fully committed in keeping our guests, students, and employees safe. We take this responsibility seriously. We are continuously finding efficient ways to further improve our methods and successfully build a culture wherein safety is given importance no matter what we do. We do not underestimate the task of ensuring the safety of all our guests. Additionally, our very own institute has made it clear via the Safety Management System, or SMS, that providing a safe physical environment for the people and ensuring that they are informed of what to do in an emergency situation whilst in our ground is a priority.
The Safety and Security Office is located at the ground floor near Gate 1 in Ames Lighthouse.
The Safety and Security Office provides sustainable safety and security measures for the protection of lives and properties inside the school campus. They offer the following services: spearhead the conduct of awareness training or drills and seminars for earthquake, fire, and bomb. Regularly conducts rounds of inspection in the campus and outside, covering and monitoring about 200 meters from the school premises. Custodian of lost and found items. In charge of the monitoring of parking for employees, students, and visitors.
And thank you, Colonel Haison, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, to discuss the second part of the ISEM, may we have, to give us a brief background on it, our Assistant Vice President for Finance, Ms. Jeanette Dalida. Ma'am?
Good afternoon, everyone. Executives, our dear executives, deans, department heads, directors, everyone. The second cluster of our ISCM is Resources Security Management. The occupants in the second row are the lead key players of the resources of the RSM. Resources Security Management, or RSM, is all about managing and protecting all our assets, all of our resources in all its forms: money, materials, building, infrastructure, and even our own people against risks of all kinds, man-made or natural risks. And to give you a glimpse of the security features of our RSM, we have prepared a short video for your appreciation. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's about it for our resources security management. And now, for the third cluster, damay-damay na to. For our QA-ISM, I will call on our AVP for QA, Ms. Joy Garner.
So good afternoon, everyone. So we in the Quality Assurance Information Security Management, we prepare also a short video to give you the overview on how are we going to protect our personal information, trade secrets in the support of our technology. So let's watch.
Insurance Information Security Management. Our goal is to effectively insulate the AIMS corporate info database with utmost safety and security management system conforming to interested parties' needs and standard requirements. The scope of QA info management. The security framework illustrates the focus of QAISM in the area of securing AIMS trade best practices and its documented information database and ensuring the security features for consistent and effective quality control management. Quality control production management. The operational readiness monitors productivity level at certain period or as planned, which also ensures effective use of resources. The enhanced year-round IQA as aligned with the periodic trimester PSP is a quality control mechanism that determines productivity level of every offices. Data privacy.
Data privacy generally means the ability of a person to determine for themselves when, how, and to what extent personal information about them is shared with or communicated to others. This personal information can be one's name, location, contact information, or online or real-world behavior. Republic Act 10173 or the Data Privacy Act of 2012 protects the privacy of individuals while ensuring free flow of information to promote innovation and growth. Regulates the collection, recording, organization, storage, updating or modification, retrieval, consultation, use, consolidation, blocking, erasure or destruction of personal data, and ensures that the Philippines complies with international standards set for data protection through National Privacy Commission or NPC. Why is data privacy so important? Data protection is important since it prevents the information of an organization from fraudulent activities, hacking, phishing, and identity theft. Any organization that wants to work effectively need to ensure the safety of their information by implementing a data protection plan.
Common ways of data privacy issues. Social media. Documented information. Phishing. Fraudulent links in email and SMS. Online shopping.
Rights to data privacy. You have the right to be informed that your personal data will be, are being, or were, collected and processed. You have the right to dispute and have corrected any inaccuracy or error in the data a personal information controller, PIC, hold about you. Obtain from an organization a copy of any information relating to you that they have on their computer database and or manual filing system. If you feel that your personal information has been misused, maliciously disclosed, or improperly disposed, or that any of your data privacy rights have been violated, you have a right to file a complaint with the NPC.
How to prevent data privacy breach. Frequently changing of passwords. Avoid using public devices. Avoid clicking suspicious links and fraudulent emails.
Data analytics and protection control management. And establish security features of AIMS documented information, including critical info database cover data protection, compliant to statutory, regulatory, accreditation and institutional standards. The security elements shall cover from collection, storage, access, retrieval and sharing of info database in any medium. Ensure physical security of documents and files by storing it in a secured office location, enclose documents in envelopes or folders and compile it in a secure document storage. Lock computer units and sign out from email and other accounts when not in use. Secure password protection on files with confidential information. To ensure technical security of institutional system, user access roles are identified and configured based on the approved user access roles. Office 365, cloud-based service also helps the institution's needs for robust security, reliability and user productivity.
Good day. In this video we will discuss the existing security measures deployed in our institution. We will divide the security into three parts. physical security, remote or cloud security, and technical or logical security. Physical are the security measures designed to deny unauthorized access to facilities, equipments, and resources. Remote or cloud security measures is a combination of security processes or solutions that are designed to prevent unauthorized access to institutional digital assets. Lastly, the technical or logical security measures to ensure the required level of protection of infrastructure elements. In physical security, we currently deployed electronic door lock in ITDO main door and data center door with logging capabilities. Secured intermediate distribution frame or IDF in 3rd floor, 6th floor, and 10th floor. In remote or cloud security, we currently deployed AAA framework to enforced policies in remote users. Remote VPN using domain accounts. Office 365 security and sandboxing. Technical or logical security, we currently deployed MAC address filtering in wireless and local network. Wall port security. Quality of service and VLAN segmentation. Domain account policy and account categorization. OneDrive synchronization in local computers. Windows Defender antivirus. Data and device configuration backup. Secure socket layer or SSL in all AIMS web-based applications. So what's next? Let's now identify the future plans and projects of ITDO. Also the recommended security appliance and security features to intensify our infrastructure. Firewall appliance to intensify our network protection. Endpoint security, also known as antivirus, to protect our end devices from malware. Additional data repository for data redundancy. Remote data center to secure our replicated data and configuration in a different location in preparation of natural disaster and uncontrollable events. Re-implementation of Windows Server Update Service, WSUS. To ensure that all end devices and endpoint securities are up to date to identify new malware signatures. Additional monitoring LCD. Cyberspace and IT infrastructure is evolving in fast phase, and so as the threats in the World Wide Web. With this, the ITDO constantly attending seminars, webinars, forums, and research to cope up with new IT trends and new ways to protect our infrastructure with the help of our security committee. Thank you for watching.
So this coming March, so we will have the the continuation of the implementation, because some of them are already implemented in our operation. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Gigi and Ma'am Joy. Yes, indeed, security is everybody's business. Yun nga yung laging sinasabi ni Madam Arlene, na hindi lang ang ITDO, hindi lang ang SSO, at hindi lang ang FMO ang kailangan nagpoprotekta ng assets natin at ng ating security, but it's everybody's responsibility. Thank you for leading us to that, Ma'ams and Sir. Thank you so much. At this point, we would like to call on Mr. Daryl Lawrence Abarca, our museum curator and researcher, to present us the projects of the Museo Maritimo. That?
Thank you. Apologies po kung red long sleeve po ako kasi hindi na po kasya yung yellow long sleeve po ngayon. Good afternoon po everyone, to our executives and to our external partners, and of course to my co-workers today, to our students. Thank you po for staying and for giving me your time for today po. So good afternoon everyone. So last October 11, 2012, just a very short years lang din po, almost 1 decade, our institution, the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, launched Museo Maritimo, which is considered to be by many as the first maritime-themed museum in our country. So of course, this project was made possible under the keen supervision of our dear President, Dr. Eileen Nabuid Paneranga, in collaboration with the Hiniraya Cultural Heritage Foundation and our partner organization, ICOM Philippines. So the museum was created to pay homage to the contribution of Filipino seafarers and to the nation building of our country, from the distant past to the present. So the primary vision of our museum is to become the North Star of Philippine maritime history. And I am proud to say that in the past 10 years, our institution have been really instrumental to the realization of this vision, because right now there are now approximately 4 more other maritime museums in our country. Meron na pong maritime museum ang NHCP, which was opened very recently. Tumulong din po tayo sa kanila on several aspects. Meron na rin pong plano ang National Museum. And this was all made possible po through the leadership of our dear President po. So palakpakan naman po tayo po. Next slide, please. So last October 12, 2022, Ames Museo Maritimo celebrated our 10th anniversary. Part of the program was the launching of the Campus Museum project titled Alon, wherein we expanded the museum experience throughout the entire lighthouse building. Today, the museum experience also covers the simulators, laboratories, and the intricacies of the maritime training. So that's what sets our museum different to our maritime museum, because we are also offering the real training of the maritime industry, not only in terms of maritime artifacts. Yun po yung key difference ng museum natin today. We also held our 7th Philippine Maritime Heritage Forum, where we trace back the development of Museo Maritimo in the past 10 years. We have invited po all of the previous workers of Ames Museo Maritimo, and we are very proud that they are now all successful in their respective industries where they are today po. For example, Greg, the first worker in the Ames Museo Maritimo, is now a division head in the research division of the National Museum. As Jasper Gambito po, probably kilala siya ng iba dito, is now the department head of the PUP Department of History. Not to mention, Mr. Carl Albais po is now the main coordinator of the UNESCO program here in our country. So all of the graduates of Museo Maritimo have been very, very successful in their respective industry. And it is, we give credence for this to the training that we have in Ames Museo Maritimo po. Next slide, please. We also showed our commitment to the knowledge generation by introducing the Book of Abstracts of Aguhon, a Philippine Maritime History and Heritage Journal, Volume 2, and a soft launch of our in-house maritime book project titled Alon, the Philippines as a Maritime Nation State. For the maritime book project po, it is now just on a soft launch, but we are still working po to make it available in the Kindle publication of Amazon po. So hopefully within this year, it can be available in Amazon po. Next slide, please. So today, we also showed the 29th anniversary of Ames and the 10th anniversary of Museo Maritimo is a reflection point to evaluate the institution relative to our vision. Of course, as we all know, the vision of our institution is to become the home of maritime, engineering, and heritage knowledge exchange. So the keyword po dito is heritage or knowledge exchange po. Tandaan po natin yun, knowledge exchange. On the other hand, the vision of the museum is to become the North Star of the Philippine maritime history. Today, we are excited to merge these two visions and transform our institution into a knowledge exchange center. This was made possible also po through the support and supervision of our Vice President for Student Services and Development, Ma'am Janet Abuidandan. Thank you po, ma'am. Palakpak naman po tayo. Okay po. And next slide, please. Okay, sige. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to announce the launch of the Ames Connect project of CLAMS and Museo Maritimo. The service seeks to create an environment or a co-working space that designed to accommodate different individuals and provide the place of work for our alumni first. It is characterized by shared facilities that will mostly function as a networking hub. So the project will first accommodate our alumni, and hopefully in the long run, we can also accommodate outsiders. But of course, it's still a testing project po. So Ames Connect project is the project that we would like to launch po within this school year. Next slide, please. So Ames Connect will offer the following features. First, we have access to Museo Maritimo. Second is an access to the library. Third is the access to our digital resources such as Turnitin, Progress, 3G, and the CCP Encyclopedia of Philippine Arts. Moreover, we will also have services such as the working space with Wi-Fi. So yun po yung key services natin right now, which is yung concept of the co-working space, but we're still not on that level, so we'll do it on a gradual and step-by-step basis. We will also offer meeting rooms and a gaming area. So the combination of all these features differentiates the Ames Connect from the other co-working space that are already available in the market. Next slide, please. And by the way, that will only cost 300 pesos po on a daily basis. So hopefully you can also invite some of your friends if they will be interested po in the services that the museum will provide in the future. Okay po. So Ames Connect, the registration process is very simple. So first, you just need to register at bit.ly/AimesSpace. Second, you can pay your registration on-site or online and send the proof of payment to Museo Maritimo or the Ames official FB page po. Third is you will receive a membership confirmation certificate, and please always book po muna in the Museo Maritimo FB page before using the space. Once we receive po the proof of payment, we will send a certificate of membership. We will send a certificate of membership, a booklet that summarizes the services of the Ames Connect, house rules, and the ingress and egress process. Next slide, please. So everyone, I invite everyone to register at the Ames Connect, where working, learning, and playing intersects. The Ames Connect will be open on May 18, 2023 in celebration of the International Museum Day. Moreover, kindly follow po our Ames Museo Maritimo, our official FB page in Facebook, to access the upcoming releases of the museum, such as the third volume of Timon, the Proceedings of the Philippine Maritime Heritage Forum, and film showings and many more activities. So together, let us celebrate the past 10 years of Museo Maritimo and the 29th anniversary of Ames. So all aboard now for more years of maritime history sailing. Thank you po. The video na lang po. Thank you po, everyone. So I hope that you can support this project as we realize po our vision to become a maritime knowledge exchange hub po for our country. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daryl Abarca. Indeed, a lot of exciting things are happening, and nakaka-excite talaga yung mga ganon. Special place for our alumni and for our partners and for our students to interact and connect with each other. And of course, we're not done yet. Of course, we have Mr. Juan Martin Guash, Clams Director, sir, to give us more updates on our libraries and archives here.
Thank you very much, Sir Ron. Hindi ako naka-yellow kasi hindi dahil sa hindi kasya sa akin. But because if I have worn yellow today, it would be an ordinary day. But this is an extraordinary day. It's the launching of the many projects of AIMS towards the 30th foundation anniversary. And that is why I wore a different color today. Kaya lang nilagyan ko ng konting yellow. I could have started discussing today's event and the activities of the library and CLAMS by doing it philosophically. I can do it the phenomenological way of Martin Heidegger, Edmond Husserl, Maurice Merleau-Ponty, discussing the phenomenological transcendental reduction of everything, from memories to Lebenswelt, the lived world experiences, and so on. I can do this also quantum physically, discussing with you the continuum of time, space, and matter. Without matter, there can never be space. Without space, there can never be time. And to incorporate that in the celebration that we are doing today, I can still do this in so many ways. But I'd rather do it in a library way of simply discussing with you what to expect on the 30th year of AIMS. Next year is a very momentous event, not only for AIMS, but to myself as well. If my father would be alive today, it would be his 115th birth anniversary by next year. My mother's 112th birth anniversary next year. Paarl's 50th golden anniversary, the Philippine Academic Association, Academic Research Librarian, of which I'm a director also, will celebrate it next year. It would be my 40th celebration for the high school of San Beda next year. I will be 55 next year. And it will also be the 30th anniversary of AIMS next year. So there's so much going on next year. And we will start with that today. Let me do it with there's a famous Chinese adage. No journey starts without a single step. So today, we start with a single step of a journey that we will travel together in a very adventurous, mythical year towards next year. So I have my let me show you our video presentation for
to the
class.
Maritime Studies Center for Library, Archives, and Museum Services. Full speed ahead. Library transformation. Facilities. Bar table and bar stool. Library transformation. Books and beverages. Featured books. Library transformation. Books and beverages. Menu.
Next year.
Library transformation. Online resources. Library transformation. Quick response code for e-library. Library transformation. Library corners, cardboard cutouts. Library transformation, library corners, magazine rack digital display system library kiosk. Library transformation, library corners, online public access catalog or OPAC. Archives direction, identification of materials. Archives direction, digitization. Museum expansion, institutional trophies, certificate, and awards. Museum expansion, Passenae Museo Maritimo. Museum expansion, Paseo Museo Tour Museo Maritimo. Museum expansion, Ames Connect. Museum expansion, educational walls. Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, Center for Library, Archives, and Museum Services. B. Ames.
Thank you very much. So let me try to summarize that. The transformation of the clams is in three ways. Library transformation. So alis na po tayo. Okay, sige. Hello. Good afternoon. So library transformation to being more homey, not just room for reading, but rather than a space for leisure and entertainment. So hindi na siya yung the usual. This is the reason why we are trying to break out everything. No? And then number two, we're trying to do the archives direction and also the museum expansion. The reason I use the word expansion because we're not just thinking of Museo Maritimo, but at the same time building the institutional artifacts of the school because we're already 30 years and moving towards the 50th year. It is quite important for now, as early as now for us to collect already all those historical, cultural artifacts of Ames as an institution and as an organization. And we should be able to make it a show for everybody so that they can see the culture that we have already created. Good afternoon, thank you very much, and hope we'll be able to sail together towards that future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Guash. Very engaging presentation. Thank you. Part of our thrust is also development in research. And to give us a glimpse on our projects, on our research, we have Dr. Victor Kahala, Dean of our CREED. Thank you, sir.
Hi everyone, good afternoon po sa ating lahat, mapagpalang araw. And inumpisan kasi ni Daryl, kaya medyo masikip din yata yung jacket ko. Ibaba ko po, ayan. Ayan. Kasi parang hindi na ako nakakahinga. Okay, ayan. Okay, sige, before I will do my presentation with respect to our proposed maritime Occupational Research and Policy Development Center, I'd like to give a 2-minute anecdote with respect to the leading of this particular proposal. So one time, pinatawag ako ni CEO sa kanyang office to discuss about the Pukyong exploratory research and also the research counterpart of DDV2. So after nung discussion namin, ako naman, dahil ang tagal ko na sa research, I've been there for almost, 10 years, 11 years. I get to review a lot of studies from the undergrad and also this, for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years from the graduate school. So sabi ko kay Doc, Doc, parang maganda yata na we put up a Maritime Occupational Research Center in the coming future, sabi ko. Because sayang naman yung ating mga repositories if they will not be used accordingly, especially to those recipients who really are the direct beneficiaries of the paper. Ngayon, knowingly, sabi ni Doc, naku, 10 years ago ko pa yan plinano, sabi niya. Tapos sabi ko, you do it now. Ngayon, napasubo yata ako. Sabi niya. So anyway, kidding aside, nandito na tayo. So nonetheless, we are now presenting this particular proposal. So I called it Fostering the Safety and Welfare of Filipino Seafarers, the inspiration behind the proposed Maritime Occupational Research and Policy Development Center of AIMS. So as an introduction, we might have seen a number of support and advocacy centers existing around the world. Some are independent ones, some are institution or school-based, and the others government-born. But what do centers really do in general? Why are they created? What is their main objective of existence? So allow me to share and show an insightful video from the Pew Research Center of the United States for us to be oriented and enlightened on the existence of support and advocacy centers. So I'll have to go to the video and I'll just click daw ito, yata. Let's watch about more than 4 minutes. Ayaw yata. Sorry. Okay. May separate ako na video doon. Kaya can we just play it?
You know, there's a sentence in the founding documents of the Pew Research Center that I
naka-embed doon sa PowerPoint pero siguro so while waiting, hindi ako nakapagbati kanina. I'd like to greet our Madam President. We are happy to see you, Madam. And we're so much joyful to join you in our Foundation Day po. And to our executives also, good afternoon po. Sorry for that.
There's a sentence in the founding documents of the Pew Research Center that I always think back to, which goes like this. Fact-based information is the fuel democracies run on. It's the raw material from which societies identify problems and formulate solutions.
We're really looking for places where society is about to make important decisions. So we study everything from new laws and norms around digital privacy, how we lead our online lives, to what people think about the potential for gene editing, from changes in the way people are practicing their religion and expressing themselves spiritually, to how they feel about their racial identity in a fast-changing culture. And there's a waterfront of topics in between.
The work that we do at the Pew Research Center is nonpartisan and non-advocacy, and we want to understand the American public's viewpoints on a whole range of issues. Our work, because it's nonpartisan non-advocacy, gets at those questions from so many different angles.
What we've been doing is we've looked at topics that don't have a lot of existing data. So we did a survey of U.S. Jews because there hadn't been one done in many years. We did surveys of Muslims in the United States because no one had done that. We look at these communities that haven't had good analysis done, and then doing that analysis, we allow people to ground their conversations, their speculations, their understandings in a set of facts.
For me, being at Pew means being part of something larger than myself. An opportunity to make a contribution to society, to the public debate, without being involved in the debate itself. I always tell my team to take that responsibility very seriously. We don't move fast and break things here. In fact, I joke with them that we move cautiously and question ourselves at every step because it's a big responsibility to inform the public.
I think part of the trick is honoring where we came from while at the same time evolving. Most recently, through a new group that we have called Data Labs, trying to marry established survey methodologies with new computational social science tactics, big data, for example. How do you put those things together in order to give a greater surround sound to what citizens are thinking and feeling at any given moment?
What I'm most proud of here at the center is the rigor. We care deeply about getting it right. And that might sound precious, but in today's environment, there are a lot of ways to create numbers. But creating really good numbers, creating numbers that are sound and grounded, that really are inclusive and representative of the full spectrum of inputs, and that are analyzed with caution and care, where people aren't amping up the numbers to try to make a point, but simply letting the numbers speak for themselves. That's largely invisible, but it's that really underlies all of what we can do here as an organization.
I'm really proud to work at Pew because I think getting good data about the experience of the public, their thoughts, their fears, their reaction to what's going on across the nation, what's going on in their lives, it's important for us to measure that and to measure it well. And no place cares more about measuring that well than the Pew Research Center. You know, when it comes down to it, these are the things that matter at Pew. We want to be insightful, we want to be rigorous, and we want to be transparent. And most of all, in this current climate, we want to be neutral. And we work very hard every day to make that happen.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we go back to the PowerPoint, please? So this is something that I would like to show so that we can background ourselves with respect to our plan in putting up a research center. This is not just a research center, but it's a national in terms of its scope. Now, I have some significant quotes that were given in the video. First was from the Executive Vice President. She said, we're really looking for places where society is about to make important decisions. Therefore, we study everything from changes in the way people are practicing their religion and expressing themselves spiritually to how they feel their racial identity in a fast-changing culture. Now, in the AIMS perspective, religion and racial discrimination are just two of the subtopics that were investigated from the various AIMS academics research papers, both graduate and undergraduate. Next, from the senior researcher Bashir Mohammed, what we've been doing is we've looked at topics that don't have a lot of existing data. For AIMS perspective, a repository of various graduate and undergraduate research data has been in place at the CREED and SGS offices. Some data came from unique topics, hence are not commonly researched on by maritime stakeholders. This can be a niche where the proposed center can take opportunity of. From Dan Morrison, the Vice President for Communications, he said, most recently, through a new group that we have called Data Labs, we are trying to marry established survey methodologies with new computational social science tactics. From the AIMS perspective, CREED has been consistently applying rigor in the preparation of sound instrument, ethical data gathering, and valid statistical results. With the purchase of the new SPSS software, actually care of the graduate school, thank you. CREED and SGS is now jointly working on the implementation of the in-house Statistical Treatment and Analysis Service, or ISTAS. And lastly, from the president of the Pew Research Center, he said, fact-based information is the fuel democracies run on. It's the raw material from which societies identify problems and formulate solutions. On the AIMS perspective, AIMS is now committing itself in maximizing the utilization of its institutional and academic research results in order to contribute in the development of effective policies, standards, laws, and regulations in organizational, national, and international levels through the proposed center. Now, what is Pew Research Center? It is actually a non-profit tax-exempt organization and a subsidiary of the Pew Charitable Trust. So mapansin po natin dito, ang mga centers mostly are funded so that they continuously research and they can share the results for the alleviation of life of many others. Now, this is based in Washington, D.C. It's a nonpartisan research center which provides information on social issues, public opinion, demographic trends that shape the U.S. and also the world. These are the areas that they try to research on: politics and policy, journalism and media, internet technology, science, society, race and ethnicity, religion, public life, and attitude trends and social and demographic trends. Now, in the Philippines and also in the world, these are some of the well-known advocacy centers. So actually, we are trying to background ourselves para alam natin yung direction ng ating school when it comes to putting up at the center. The Jesse M. Robredo Institute of Governance is a private, non-profit, and non-partisan research and training center based in De La Salle University with the objective to strengthen performance, participation, transparency, and accountability in governance system across the public-private divide. So I have made the governance system. Pareho na kami ni Doc Pasmado. Sorry. So governance system, it has something to do with politics. For the second, Blas F. Ople Policy Center and Training Institute, also a non-profit organization registered at SEC and accredited by the Commission on Human Rights and the Interagency Council Against Trafficking. What is their advocacy? Migrant workers' rights and welfare. Next. Social Development Research Center. The director here is actually our reviewer last second colloquium, Dr. Habar. This is a leading center for social science research in La Salle. Its main objective is to conduct research on socially relevant issues, disseminate findings to academic community and other stakeholders, and so also linkages to ASEAN region. And lastly, this is actually our PEG for our center. The Seafarers International Research Center, as part of the Cardiff University School of Social Sciences in UK, SIRC was established in 1995 with a view to conducting research on seafarers, specifically on occupational health and safety. So with this backgrounding, saan na nanggaling yung idea na we have to push through with our particular plan for the proposal? Allow me to share, I was invited to talk in one of the research conferences in Bangkok. And with this conference, I really made use of maritime occupation as the content of my presentation with this particular title. In one of my presentations, I presented there that the AIMS has accumulated numerous graduate and undergraduate occupational and well-being studies in merchant marine field for almost 2 decades, pointing to the fact that the Philippines has maintained its rank as the top suppliers of seafarers. AIMS researchers are therefore replete of rich and meaningful data that were outsourced from the 1,000 number of experienced Filipino seafarers. Contextualized under the social science lens, some of the topics investigated were psychosocial well-being, racial discrimination, income management, social relations, and work-life balance. So the keynote address has therefore presented some of the profound research findings of AIMS, encompassing topics that can contribute in alleviating the present condition of global seafarers. Now, in this particular presentation, we are asked to present aspects of the maritime occupation. We have economical, we have sociological, and psychological. I have made a sampling for the sociological perspective, and the contents of this presentation came from 3 papers in AIMS, and one of which is on the sociological perspective. So AIMS has delved into a number of racial discrimination studies. Firstly, in the study of Reyes et al., isang estudyante po natin na college na nasa top 10 po noong 2016, na pag-alaman nila na 100 Filipino seafarers have expressed minimal discrimination experience in terms of language, physical features, and religion. This likewise revealed in the study of Nico Cruz, yung ating pong nag-start ng college hanggang PhD. Meron po siyang study on discrimination, and he got 254 Filipino seafarers who manifested a moderate level of racial discrimination experience. But with very strong discrimination encounters, saan po? Sa physical features. Almost perfect po yung kanyang mean, 4.98. So here, the latter result complemented the qualitative findings of the LISAI, another undergraduate student, who interviewed 5 Filipino seafarers and have revealed that racism still occur on board. So correspondingly, mayroon din silang nakuhang coping mechanisms in the result of study of Reyes and Cruz. So it somehow counters the racial discrimination experience. So yan po. Now, in my last part, future investigation, I have presented here that with the increasing movement of goods around the world, the demand for seafarers, at patuloy rin po tayong nagpapagraduate ng mga seafarer, the demand will still continue to flourish. Thus, the dynamics of human interaction inside the ship shall also be an active happening. Inquiries and investigations, therefore, shall also be continuously done by stakeholders of the maritime industry so as to facilitate the welfare of every seafarer on board. This is where AIMS plan to establish the Center for Maritime Occupational Research in the Philippines with an aim to focus in addressing the safety and well-being of seafarers from the Philippines and the regions of the world. Ang tanong po sa atin ngayon is that, is AIMS ready to establish its advocacy center? Let's find out siguro. There. So actually, establishing this kind of center entails a great deal of credentials in order to build credibility. Paramount to this are the following. In proper order po yan, ha? Skilled and intelligent researchers, sound budget and funding, infrastructure, network, and affiliation. Meron po kaya tayo niyan? Let's see. Okay. For talent and skills and research, academic papers, the CREED office has accumulated 254 quality undergraduate research papers from 2011 to 2022, while there are 216 graduate research papers from 2005 to 2019. I-add po natin yan, halos 500 na po sila. Pero of course, when we will push through with this, we will get those information that are latest so that we can give it to our recipients who will probably make use of. Now, out of the 254 undergrad papers, 27 have been accepted for oral presentation in various national conferences, UP de La Salle, St. Paul, Baguio, Cebu, Batangas, and other conference venues. Also, CREED office produced 6 undergraduate research journals since 2012, 4 volumes of benchmark under SMB, and 2 volumes of Helm and Rudder under SMM. While at the graduate school, they have produced a total of 13 research journals. Now, in terms of recognition, academic papers, we are proud to say that 8 undergraduate papers have been extended distinction and awards. Ito pong una is actually a 5-paper accumulation of an award in 2018. So yung 5 papers na yan, nanalo po tayo ng 3rd prize out of almost 20 schools. The first prize is St. Paul, second prize is Far Eastern University, and third is AIMS. So I hope palakpak naman dyan sa ating mga estudyante. Yan. Okay. Next, in 2021, pasmado talaga ako, sorry. we bagged the 2nd and 3rd prize respectively. Thank you, Ma'am Regine, with the very good coordination from the CA department. Nanalo tayo sa first Customs Logistics International Conference, Student Division, 2nd and 3rd place respectively, out of, I think, more than 10 or 15 entries. So, palakpak ulit sa ating estudyante from Customs. And lastly, dito po, kakapanalo lang na ay kaka-finalist lang po last December 2022 ng isang maritime student, 5 of them, in international research conference sponsored by Institute of Industry and Academic Research Incorporated. And I think yung mga estudyante natin dyan, naka-onboard na sila. Pinilit ko pa sila habang nasa barko to do the presentation. So there. So with that, siguro sa academic papers in terms of credibility, baka pwede na nating konting sabihin we have, because we have papers that are being recognized. Now, how about institutional papers? The CREED office has accumulated 18 institutional research papers coming from faculty and admin from 2012 to 2022. 18 po yan kasi noong 2012 to 2015 may 3 po. Kasama yung paper namin ni Ma'am Apple na collaborative plus si Ma'am Lota. And then noong 2016 to 2017 may 5 po na kinloquium prior to my medical leave. And then we have 10 recently lang, 2021 and 2020, a total of 18. Now out of the 18 papers, 5 have been accepted for oral presentation in various international research conferences. 1 in Cambodia, actually 1 in Cebu, but international yun, pero na-convert siya na online. 2 in Thailand and 1 in Singapore. Okay, there. Now, the CREED office has also in its repository a total of 9 volumes of institutional research journals since 2003, the latest of which is the currently published Volume 9 of Ames Research Journal. In terms of recognition, CREED is proud to say that 3 papers have been extended international distinctions and awards. First off, we have the Best Presentation Certificate, palakpak naman yan, kay Ms. Marian Garibay. They presented their paper in Thailand with the title, The COVID-19 Anxiety, Depression, and Stress Levels of AIMS Students and Their Impact on Well-Being, Inputs for Mental Resiliency Program. Hindi pa natapos kay Ma'am Garibay. Meron pa tayong nakuhang isa, another study with the same presentation with Ms. Patricia Camille Hasmin with another palakpak po. The title is A Qualitative Investigation on Mental Health Profile, Perception and Status of AIMS Students, a Pre-Pandemic Inquiry. And we have a third. The third one, I humbly want to tell na na-receive ko lang po yung report last Saturday night from Singapore, the organizer. And my paper was chosen as one of the best research papers in the World Conference on Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation. So doon pa kala Ma'am Garibay, they are I think almost 40. In my presentation in Singapore, we are I think 32 papers. 5 papers were selected as best paper. So with this, pwede na po ba nating sabihin na may credential na tayo, at least sa mga talents natin? I think, I hope so, no? We are continuously trying to make hone our admin personnel and faculty. We are coming up with an intensified research capacity training that I will be forwarding in the coming days to our executives for their approval, kasi ito rin ay kailangan sa pakukuha, yung kanilang intensified. Yan po. Now, budget and funding. The CREED office has an approved budget of 3,679,250 for this school year. So this budget is sound enough to temporarily finance the initial undertakings of the proposed center. However, with the proposal to hold the grand launch of the center in the first trimester next school year, operational funding shall now be a combination of CREED budget and outsourced funding and grants from affiliates and networks. Okay. For the manpower and personnel, what do we have as a credential? At present, the CREED staff's personnel in its roster of researchers shall form part of its present manpower. Now, in the actual operation, the center shall have a separate director who will lead the center and separate operational staffs who will process the requirements of the center. Example, inventory of studies, monitoring of papers, and other clerical works. These also include transaction with external parties, funding institutions, affiliate centers, and networks. Ang atin po kasing center, ang ating publics talaga ay tagalabas po, hindi dito sa loob. All of which now will be external transactions accordingly. For, ano ba yun? Manpower. Infrastructure. At present, the CRED office shall be the temporary headquarters of the center. In the actual operation, the center shall have an independent headquarters in the campus, including office equipment and facilities. Why is it so? The independent identity of the center is important as most of its stakeholders and publics are external. Example, funding institutions, the recipients of research results, affiliate centers, media also, if they will make use of our results and part of their articles. So, there. For number 4, networks and affiliates. At present, the proposed center has no identified networks and affiliates. Hence, the following shall be outsourced as affiliates. I am strongly advising that we need to have coordination with Senate and Congress office with committeeship on seafarers and maritime. Why? Because sila po ang taga-balangkas ng polisiya. If we have the results, it would be very integral to their crafting of the policies. And at some point, if our research results have been used, of course, it would be a non-money fulfillment to us because at least we have contributed for policies. Also, we will make affiliate of ourselves with international seafarer organizations, one of which is SIRC. So just a simple anecdote po sa Seafarers International sa UK, si Miss Helen Sampson ang director, and well, we plan to invite her kahit man lang online for the grand launch. And then they have only 3 research associates and almost 100 of research analysts and researchers. Yung mga researchers nila, most of which are foreign, walang Filipino na. Doon sa 3 research associate, 2 of them are Filipinos. And we are proud of that na trusted ni Miss Helen Sampson. So I am thinking na malakas ang chance na ma-invite natin to affiliate sa ating center ang SIRC. Also, national seafarer organizations, marami naman tayo dyan, ililis. Funding bodies and institutions, national and international. Ang isang center, hindi po mabubuhay yan ng galing lang sa budget natin. Lahat ng ating centers, they are being operated with the donations given by the funding institutions. And with that, it continuously operate ang kanilang pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa tao. We also have recipients of research results. Ito na po yung pagbibigyan natin ng mga studies, public and private. Yan po. Just like manning agencies which are private. And lastly, various media agencies na probably cite ng ating study, national or international. Now, is AIMS ready to establish its advocacy? My answer is yes. AIMS is now ready to establish its first advocacy center, and it's named the Maritime Occupational Research and Policy Development Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kahala, for that very intensive presentation. Yan. Of course, our next naman po would be coming from the Dean of the Center for Student Services and Development. Let's all welcome Ms. Regine V. Hiner to give us a glimpse of the preparations we're doing for the 30th Foundation undertakings and projects.
To our President, Ma'am Marlene, our CEO, Dr. Dalagete, BP Head, Sir Kada, BPSS, Ma'am Janet, all ABPs, directors and deans, to our students, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Before I share a glimpse of what we will be having for the next year, I want to invite everyone to pay your attention or to give your attention on the screen. I'd like you to watch a short video of the glimpse of what we have before. Especially now that we have here newcomers or new members of the family, it is just time na magkaroon po tayo ng a bit idea of what AIMS before and the struggles and the challenges of all our management in order for us to be here at 29 Foundation Day and preparing for our 30th anniversary.
What's up, Asians? As for the upcoming foundation celebration, let's take a glimpse and a quick snapshot of how our institution was built all through the years. So in the earlier time, AIMS opened its door to the public in the year 1993. Meanwhile, in 1994, all program offerings for PSMT, PSMARE, PSCA, and PMMC went in full swing. In the year 1995, Captain Wilejado P. Abuin bid for a role as Mrs. Jane of Maria Abuin became the president afterwards. Not a later time, Dr. Arlene Abuin Paderanga was elected president in the year 1996. In 1997, true-blooded Aimsians made headway in the board examination results in all its professional programs. As time goes by, the core values of our institution, which is achievement, integrity, mastery, and service, was thereby born in the year 1998. On the 5th year of our institution, we are awarded by the American Bureau of Shipping after we participated in the League of Maritime Textbook Writers. In the year 2000, the College of Business spins off from the Maritime College with the addition of new program offerings. Later on, Captain Lito Paterno Paderanga received his fruits of labor, wherein he became the recipient of Outstanding Seafarer of the Year award. In 2002, the AIMS 129 PCGA Squadron forged an alliance with the Philippine Coast Guard. Moving forward, Dr. Felicito P. Dalagete, VP for Academic Affairs, was elected as the President of the Philippine Association of Maritime Institute, or PAN. In the 10th year of our institution, AIMS was recognized as in the top 10 of the most preferred schools. Moreover, MPC was also built in this year in support of the co-curricular activities of the students. This year, Research Culture Management Team was created to ensure that information are processed for development. In 2006, International Education Accreditation begins with the entry of foreign students taking maritime programs. Furthermore, NSTP gave way to the in-house Merchant Marine Cadetship Program, or MMCP, to pursue academy training. In 2008, a strengthened vision was made, which is to be the home of maritime knowledge exchange, and was envisioned having a maritime museum. In the 15th founding anniversary of our institution, we have forged alliances with the industry partners named ACES, or AIMS Industry Council for Educational Sustainability. Moving forward, 2010 witnessed a chain of successful board top placers, with special mention of first place in Customs Brokers Licensure Examination. In 2011, AIMS leveled up its company image by adopting a business strategy of being the provider of choice, employer of choice, and investment of choice. In the year 2012, Museo Maritimo was set to be built upon, as well as a 12-story building was on the rise, signifying the AIMS' readiness to accept more opportunities and face challenges. Later on, AIMS was honored to be recognized by CHED as the only two schools in NCR which did not receive a show cause order for the closure of all its maritime programs. Vision 2020 is neither about clarity of vision nor certainty of sights. It is about seeing things not for what they are, but for what they can become. It must be a balanced combination of knowledge and imagination. In the year 2015, the accreditation from the Philippine Council for NGO Certification allows us to provide donors a full tax credit benefit. In 2016, our institution have made contact with South Tyneside College UK, TESDA St. Manchester, Megalodon Exhibit, and 2nd National Maritime Forum. In 2017, AIMS continues to benchmark and adopt the best internal standards and practices by mainstreaming internalization. In In 2018, AIMS implemented a clear-the-box policy that seeks to maximize operational efficiency from every member of the AIMS community and many more activities. As AIMS reaches its 25th silver anniversary, the entire AIMS community gathered at the Manila Hotel to celebrate its greatest milestone as well as for AIMS to look back and set a new direction for the next 25 years. In the year 2020, AIMS has shifted and adapted blended learning and flexible modalities of teaching to accommodate different situations of the students. In 2021, our institution launched the AIMS Experience campaign as part of its overall brand development. Moreover, AIMS introduced its expanded vision as the home of maritime, engineering, and heritage knowledge exchange. In the previous year, AIMS has completed sailing within 28 years towards wide digital learning innovation. And thereby in this year, we are fulfilling another year of celebration as we are on the 29th hour of transformation. Now to give us
Ayun po. So I hope with that video, our newcomers, and of course, yung matagal na rin po dito sa AIMS, we were able to have a inspiration on how we will work with together in the 30th, for the 30th Foundation celebration. Opo ma'am, throwback yun. Opo. So for the glimpse of the 30th Foundation undertakings and projects, let me start with time capsule. So we are proposing to have a time capsule. A time capsule is a historic cache of items and information usually intended as a deliberate method of communication with future people. So as what our CEO mentioned a while ago, how we are going to communicate with the general, or with the next generation. So time capsule is one method. So we will be keeping in the time capsule some ideas or messages from the incorporators, messages from our executives. So these are just ideas on what we will be burying or putting inside the time capsule. We are also giving or would like to suggest AIMS uniform, student uniform from 2023 to 2024, including student council uniform, handbook, photos of student council. We also have AIMS souvenir items and AIMS merchandise to be placed inside the time capsule. So opening a time capsule awakens us to the past and make us wonder about how people and society have changed or not changed. Opening a time capsule, like many everyday experiences, transports us back to where we are before, and we should not be forgotten what we had before. As I mentioned earlier, we always embrace our past to move for our future, to our future. So yan po yung isang idea about the time capsule. Some of the more of the contents that we will be putting in. And then, second project, the Alumni Connect page and databases. So as of the moment, in our alumni page, in our website, the Alumni Connect cannot still be accessible as of the moment, or a week before today. Yeah. So we all know that the responsibility of higher learning institution does not end after graduation. Rather, it starts once a student graduated. Schools must provide the necessary support system for the graduate to ensure their success. Most importantly, our alumni are great market for our postgraduate studies, and the Alumni Connect system cover all the support services that our institution can provide to ensure that our graduates will be competitive and have a clear direction and options after graduation. So we are proposing this feature to our website. So on that one, we have feature number 1, which is I would like to thank the ITDO headed by Ma'am Lisa and also Ma'am Sescada. They were able to put in some information already inside the website. So we have the alumni information wherein graduates can complete their alumni information and share their career development. This feature will be helpful in our tracer studies endeavor by our BPAA. Later, he will explain more about it. So we also have another feature, resume generator, wherein our alumni can convert their personal information into a resume generator. They can immediately download a standardized resume aligned with the Ames brand, and this will be helpful to our graduates who cannot build a good resume. So another feature is the career and job list. This feature will present all the career opportunities for the graduates. So career opportunities will be inviting our partners, baka meron silang posting or meron silang available career or jobs for our alumni. So dyan po yan sa feature ng career and job list. Career counseling. This feature will be a special service to graduates that seeks career counseling. They can book online counseling where they can discuss career matters and mental health, distress in job hunting. Another feature is the network and events. Our institution can specify all the benefits and perks of the alumni card, such as discounts on establishment, freebies, and others. Then for the giving option, this is actually network and collaborations. Our graduates can support different fundraising programs for the institution. Each batches can launch institutional development program such as new recreational facilities and more. Just to give you a glimpse of what the Alumni Connect page and database we have now, so we can log in already. Alumni can log in if they already registered in our system. So they will, once they click the information or alumni information, ito po yung makikita nila. So on the screen is just a sample. So makikita natin kung ano na yung natapos nila, ano na yung basic information about them, and then this information can be used in our research, having a tracer study for our alumni. So third project for the 30th Foundation, we are proposing the industry recognition. Although we're doing this for how many years? However, since Ames are getting bigger, our partners are getting bigger as well. In fact, in the side of SMB, we have more partners. We have alumni who are now our partners in terms of OJT deployment. So it's just a must that we recognize them on the 30th Foundation celebration. And then another coffee table book and magazine is now in the preparation under the Office of the President, Office of the Communication as well, and then CESD will be working out. The target now is to include many of the students, kaya we have our student here, many of the student activities to be included in the coffee table book to be launched next year. Fourth project is the Grand Alumni Homecoming, in which the alumni and, of course, Ames would like to give distinguished awards to our alumni who, in terms of their educational innovation, entrepreneurship and employment creation, community empowerment, and as well as research endeavors. So kanina na-mention ng ating CEO that we have alumni already working at Marina. We also have alumni working in PCG, in the port as harbor master. So it's just in time that during the grad alumni homecoming, we will distinguish them in order para ma-encourage na rin pong bumalik. So, and last project is that we will be opening the contest for the 30th Foundation logo and theme. This is for employee and student division. So we would like to involve, lagi naman pong ginagawa ng management, the involvement of all the employees, students of AIMS in its endeavor. So ang plan po is to release a memo about this contest, in which we will encourage everyone to give their ideas about what would be the possible theme and logo for the 30th Foundation Day. And that's end my presentation, and hopefully we work together again. Lagi naman po natin ginagawa for the preparation of our 30th Foundation celebration. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dean Rog, for giving us a glimpse of our past and the present ahead of us. And of course, next to present a glimpse of the academic year 2023-2024 onwards, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Lamberto G. Mindanao. Sir?
Ba, marami pa ring audience, oh. Na-excite kayo sa aking presentation, na trabaho to. Usapan, may script eh. Yung dalawa kong partners, videos. Wala akong videos. Okay. Actually, what I'll be presenting is not a new words, no? It is actually being heard all the time from our CEO. What we are launching today is our renewed commitment to implement what he has in mind, the frameworks he created, no? The nitty-gritty of it. But I will not, of course, discuss the nitty-gritty of those frameworks because we only have 15 minutes left. Ang daming presentation kasi. Maybe somehow I'll be giving a general perspectives of these concepts, no? Because I have scripts, I have something to read here. Okay. Yan. AIMS raised the 29th power exponential transformation in high-plex education. Academics, development initiatives, a glimpse of academic year 2023-2024 onwards. Because we are just beginning in that year, we will be working on that on the following years. But of course, there are a lot of finishing touches already in the academic year 23-24. Ano? Meron na matatapos dyan, pero mayroon pa rin tayong sisimulan dyan because maraming bagay na kailangan tapusin para masimulan. Like for example, yung distance education, yung assessment, and evaluation of training and experiences. What I'll be talking first is about teaching passport certification. Ito na naman, teaching passport certification. I've discussed this 3 times, di ba? Oh, natatawa kayo ha, kasi may hindi nag-submit. Okay. What is it? Okay. Teaching passport certification, or TPC, refers to the 3-year cycle teaching certification program of Asian Institute of Maritime Studies that aims to assure, promote, and help its teaching force to comply with statutory accreditation and institutional requirements. The program is designed to enhance AIMS capacity or capability building for the next generation of teacher facilitators and learners are given diversified educational technology. This program ensures accountability and builds integrity for a learner-centered curriculum. The TPC program will guide the teaching workforce in the design, development, and validation of research, learning modules, coursewares, and scholarly works. What is the general rule of teaching passport
certification. Dr. Dalagete said, effective academic year 22-23, no faculty shall be allowed to teach or shall be given reduced teaching load to the minimum for having been with AIMS 3 years or more without complying as per teaching passport certification defined action in any of the standard academics engagement requirements. So itong taon na to, we are intensifying the PMS, the compliance, the ORE, etc. Yung iba, napipiko na sa akin. Churi naman. Okay. But we need to comply with this because we have a big dreams, we have a big things to do. Okay. What you are seeing are hagdanan. Diba? May level 1, level 2, level 3. Pag nakarating kayo ng level 3, ay di master teacher kayo ng AIMS. And there are lots, hindi naman lots eh. Parang there are sensible requirements to comply. In level 1, of course, ang compliance niyan, tatlo lang. Compliance with ITAP, compliance with ISTEP, and trimester's performance evaluation. Yan. Ano ba yung ITAP? Compliance with institutional training assimilation program. I repeat, compliance with institutional training assimilation program or TAP. It involves the following: attendance to HRM orientation prior to appointment. Second, not later than 1 month from appointment, mayroon dapat deployment master dapat ang PDM, PDRA. 3, within the trimester engagement, familiarize experts sa QSP 123, QAI Acts assimilation ang tawag. So that is ITAP requirement. Ano ba yung I-STEP? That's the second requirement. Extent of compliance with institutional scholarly training engagement of the profession, or I-STEP, which involves the following: initial research engagement with 1 year from appointment, trimester DDB engagement, or yung tatawag nating course, DDB1, DDB2 engagement, yung sikat na sikat sa mga faculty and department head, kaya sa Herbasio na DDB1, DDB2, DDB1. Familiar ba kayo doon? Okay. So, a year of official involvements, professional center development. Yan. Pangatlo, extent of trimester performance evaluation. Yan. Average rating of the semestral, I think we have in unison with the HRMO and with the QA, we have some, of course, revision on this. But basically, 3 trimester performance evaluation rating. And then, average compliance rating, RAMP, ORI, CAD, PPA rating. Yung ating walang kamatayang ORI compliance, operational readiness exercises, performance management system evaluations. So, yun yung tatlo. Eh, may pagkakaiba ba yung level 2? Ganun din. Compliance with ITAP, compliance with ISTEP, trimester performance evaluation. Eh, ang pagkakaiba lang yan yung extent. Ano? Attendance to HRMO, yung ITAP, and LT, 1 month from appointment, PDM, TDI deployment, and IACS, QSP 123 assimilation. Sa ISTEP, initial research engagements within 2 years from appointment. Research, ngiting-ngiti si Sir, ngiting-ngiti si Sir Kahala. Trimester DDB engagement. So walang kamatayan, DDB1, DDB2. 2 years of official involvements, professional career development. And then, yan, average rating ng PMS, 1, 2, 3. Average compliance rating, RAMP, ORI, CAD, PPA rating. Ganon din, master teacher ng AIMS. Compliance with ITAP, compliance with ISTEP, trimester performance evaluation. So, nagkakaiba lang sila sa kung ano yung nire-required in certain coverage ng tatlong requirement na yan. Okay. Urgent call for this. Enhance the profile standard. Mga department head, program chairs, mamaya ng Marites. Ito, gagawin natin. Enhance the profile standard template covering all the requirements for faculty to comply. By the end of this school year, cleanse faculty lineup from those not being qualified by TPC requirements or TPC standard requirements and PSG requirements. This is the final call for those passive of the engagement standards requirements to demonstrate positive move to comply. Exciting. So yun ang ating TPC. I hope if you have questions pa, despite of the fact that I have discussed this for so many avenues and events already, you can approach my office. I'm very welcoming, lalo na sa mga bagong faculty. Okay, let's proceed to the next. Pangalawang sikat ngayon. Rachel, wala akong pindot dito. Okay. Tracer study, Churi. Tracer study. Ito tungkol sa mga alumni natin. We have to determine whether or not our education being delivered to our students is really united with what they are working in their career or profession. So, in the framework or concept of our CEO, the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies has been working to achieve and maintain the highest level of program certification in order to achieve an autonomous or deregulated status for more than 5 years. Tracer studies which are not only required for accreditation, but also a useful method for school, for our aims to examine the relationship between education and employment, give the following information: quantitative structured data on employment and career, the character of work and related competencies in the information on the professional orientation and experience of graduates. Oy. Department head, makinig muna kayo. Konti na lang to, mga 5 minutes. Okay. According to the theory, according to the theory put forward by BAN, institutions can evaluate educational results, determine the applicability of their academic and extracurricular offerings, and collect useful feedback from graduates regarding areas for improvement by doing tracer studies. And what you are seeing in the slide is the concept. Ano ba yung iti-trace natin from our graduates, from our alumni? These are the basic questions that we need to know. What skills are most important for graduates in performing their job? How can the current curriculum be enhanced to include the necessary skills to prepare future graduates for the job better? In knowing that, this is the framework of tracer study. It is composed of 1 to 2 levels. Level 1, employment profiling of graduates by programs by batches, which includes graduate profile, employment profile, profile engagement, profile of alumni, contribution to education training programs. Yan. Level 2, ito nakafocus dito yung CSD sa level 1. Ma'am CSD. Okay, level 2, except competencies and work relationship. Ito mga department head, Ma'am Apple, tatanong ka ng isang araw, no? Graduates validation performance profile, board exam, and professional leadership, entrepreneurial business engagement. Level 3, RTS impact on development management, meaning the result of these two levels will be used for our continuous quality improvement. Okay? That's parang mapakinabangan yung ating research, no? Level 3. Okay. Okay. Letter C. Yan. Distance education and blended delivery of instructions. This is a very difficult, of course, distance education per se is a program that needs accreditation of CHED and a lot more. No? Kailangan ng mga COA accreditation, etc. Marami. But for the purpose of discussion, this distance education is a type of instruction that is delivered remotely rather than having students and teachers interact in real classroom setting. Schools instead instruct through a virtual medium like the internet. But what we have now, we have no distance education actually. Kaya lang hybrid. We call that high flex, 70% in the campus, 30% online. It's blended. What is blended? But before that, I would like to discuss the main characteristics of distance educations. Physical distancing, yan. Use of electronic media, use of tutoring and student support, independent learning, flexible hours, two-way communications, technological focus, time optimization, lower cost, massive reach. If we can do all these things, if our schools have these characteristics, and of course with the yes of the state's regulating body, we can have a distance education. Because some of these we have not. No? That's why we are determined to develop our DDB1 and DDB2. No? Ma'am Lisa. Kaya kulit-kulit pa more, Sir Herbacio. Lagi kasi kayo mag-usap. So yun, dahil naiinip na kayo, bibilisan ko na lang, Next slide. Naku, nawala na yung... nagpindot na si ma'am. Ayan, okay. Assessment and equivalency of training experience. What you can see is not a flow chart, but mountains and seas that we need to cross over. It involves for aims to become center of excellence and center of development. So it's important that we work one in hand in order to achieve first those things, those status. Yan. The Commission on Higher Education is ETIAP, is an educational assessment programs that takes into account the knowledge, it takes into account the skills, the prior learning that people have acquired through informal and non-formal education experience. A higher education institution may use competency-based evaluation as the foundation for accrediting learning experience by using an equivalent competence criterion and a thorough assessment system that uses written exams and mixed assessment approaches. Of course, there is a panel assessors. They are assembled to judge the candidates' knowledge, the talents, and attitudes pertinent to certain discipline. As a result, administering higher education institutions give equal credits and pertinent certificates and degrees. That is what you mean by assessment and equivalency of training experiences. But there are a lot of requirements under the implementing guidelines for deputization of higher education institution. I will banggit some of that. The qualifications for higher education institutions applying for deputation. The HEI is eligible to apply for deputation if any of the following criteria is met. Center of excellence or center of development in the program to be offered through the ETIAP. Kaya the management is kinukulit tayo to work hand in hand with us in order to achieve the center of excellence and center of development in all areas, especially on those programs, academic programs that we wish to apply for this deputation. The HEI enjoys a valid autonomous or deregulated status from the CHED. Ano bang kailangan para magkaroon tayo nun? Yung accreditation natin, yung mga audit natin, mga levels natin na kailangan i-achieve, dapat ma-achieve natin. No? Its program to be offered through the ETF has at least level 2 accreditation from any accrediting agency recognized by CHED. So the HEI is category A under the CHED EQUAME. So yun yung mga requirements, di ba? That's why I call these mountains and seas that we need to cross over together. In management, we cannot do this alone. We need you think and work and walk with us. And a lot of procedures to do. Marami dito, hindi ko nababanggitin kasi lampas na pala. So, the next. Yan. So, I have received from SMB, Ma'am Apple, and Sir Cardones, the program study, the framework, as well as the program specifications. This is under review already, BSBA Major in Supply Chain Management, ladderized with CESDA Competency Certificate or Certification. That is the framework. Hiramin nyo na lang yung PowerPoint presentation kay Rachel. So, to give you a brief perspective, what is supply chain? Supply chain management covers all procedures that convert raw materials into finished commodities. It is the management of the movement of goods and services. It entails the deliberate simplification of companies' supply side operations in order to optimize customer value and achieve a competitive edge in the market. So in that definition, we can see what are those competencies that will be involved in the BSBA major in supply chain management. The degree program described the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration major in supply chain management capitalizes on the fundamentals of business, of course. It aims to equip students with a competency in order to assume position across the whole organization supply, manufacturing, distribution chains, as analysts, managers, decision makers. Students who completed the program will have a thorough grasp of the systematic, integrated nature of the production and delivery of goods and services, as well as how various internal and external entities are included or involved in supply, production, and distribution chain. So by utilizing concepts from other specialized fields in business administration, as well as computational abilities, analytical skills, and appropriate quantitative and qualitative models, students will be able to identify, assess, and find solutions to problems and appropriate decisions. So that is a perspective of PSBA major in supply chain management. It is actually marinated. It's related on shipping business as well. Academic remedial program, matagal na rin ito naririnig natin sa ating dear CEO, remedial program, no? The former Dean of SMM introduced to us, this is under review, a remedial program for School of Merchant Marine. Actually, that is Dean Omar Monsales. The School of Merchant Marine developed the Competency Enhancement Program with the goal of establishing a benchmark of student performance and competency as laid by the CCW Code, the aims, academic goals, and industry expectation for both BSMRA and BSMT. So the purpose of the Competency Enhancement Program or remedial program is to provide the students with enrichment activities for students whose academic performance shows weak proficiency foundation for each academic year and subject them to intervention activities to reinforce their knowledge, understanding, proficiencies, skills, competencies, attitudes, and values. The Competency Enhancement Program is designed with the endeavor to develop AIMS core values among cadets or cadets, responsive to the technical and non-technical standards of their chosen profession. We will go into marry this enhancement program in academics with what the CESD SWS is doing, the self-efficacy and intervention programs. No? Ano ba yung self-efficacy? Self-efficacy is a person's judgment about being able to perform a particular activity. It is a student's I can or I cannot belief. No? Belief niya. Unlike self-esteem, which reflects how students feel about their worth or value, self-efficacy reflects now how confident students are about to perform their specific task. Also, central to concept of self-efficacy is the understanding that individuals enable themselves to control their thoughts, feelings, and actions. A growing body of research reveals a positive relationship between students' self-efficacy beliefs in academic performance. In order to assist our students in achieving self-efficacy, the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies developed and will further enhance through CESD, through the Office of the Vice President for Student Services, Self-Efficacy Intervention Program for Undertakings. The goal of this is to provide academic counseling and lectures and self-efficacy for students with undertakings, as well as interventions on the results of regular diagnosis per year level. So yon ang tungkol sa academic remedial program. Marami pa sana akong sasabihin dito, kaya lang yung mga 7. Are you willing? So hindi na. So just giving you the general a glimpse of this all. Okay, letter G. Ayan, because we will be developing BSBA major in supply chain, and there is a Master in Customs Administration as well in maritime, in masteral programs or graduate school. We're going to align these programs that we have not only BSBA major in supply chain, but also customs and MT&MRE with what we have in the graduate school. The curriculum alignment will happen after this foundation celebration, but we are yet to review first the curriculum of the undergrad. No? It's scheduled on March 1, starting March 1, and then we'll be aligning the curriculum of course, with the help of Dr. Ridor and Dr. Frias, and of course, our very own Captain Padiranga, to align these courses with the general education courses. Ayan, okay. So yun po, actually I have 117 pages script and 70 slides. But because of the lack of time, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lamberto G. Mindanao, our Vice President for Academic Affairs. All right. At this point, we would like to call on stage our Vice President for Administration, Engineer Teodolfo Cada, to wrap up our activity this afternoon.
Gising pa ba kayo? But anyway, I will not call any names anymore because we are familiar to each other. But only one thing I can tell, welcome to the Philippines and to AIMS again, our President, Dr. Arlene Padiranga. First, I would like to thank our Lord Almighty for giving us all the blessings that we are receiving. Number one, we are all healthy. Number two, may trabaho pa rin tayo. And number three, for giving AIMS the opportunity to get stronger every year. Kanina, medyo ninenervous talaga ako. Can you imagine, yung mga speakers natin, sila yung pinakamagaling na speakers natin dito sa AIMS. Mag-umpisa tayo kay Miss Janet. Kita naman nyo, yung tuwang pa lang niya. Yun yung mga co-ed from co-ed University for Girls. So, she discussed yung difference between the happiness of our students and our employee during the pandemic, and it happened, yung happiness nila nag-manifest during last week. Nag-umpisa na. All employees are very happy. The students are shouting, playing basketball sa court. And that is all an introduction for the preparation for the 30th anniversary. Number two, sumunod, mas magaling na speaker. We know already na pag si Doc ang nagsalita, tumatalab sa puso natin. So, nakaka-nervyos maging speaker din. Pangatlo, naku, wala akong kalaban-laban sa pangatlo. Kita niyo, pakitayo nga, Mr. Hayden, no? Mistiso na. Samantalang ako, maliit naman, no? Nakaka-nervyos. Pagdating ng number 4, si Doc ulit. Oh, you know already, Doc. Number 5, si Colonel Jason. Talo pa rin ako. Tingnan yung buhok niya, wala na ako, meron pa. Talo rin ako. Sorry. And number 5, dyan, medyo lumakas-lakas na ang loob ko. Puro video presentation. Sabi ko nga, ay, kayang-kaya ko niyan. Even magting-ting, tang-tang. Kayang, yun na lang sana ang gagawin ko. Hindi na sana ako mag-i-speech eh. Pero biglang pumasok si Daryl. Naku. University of the Philippines, English tuwang naman ang binigay sa atin. Na pinakita niya what is the plan of our museo and other marketing plans that they have. Then, naku, sumunod, mas magaling din. Aral pare. Oh, di ba? Mga yaring, kaya nga naisip ko kanina, matagal na si Mr. Guas sa atin. I-request ko sana dagdagan ng sweldo. Kaya lang bandang huli, next year na lang. Yun lang ang problema ko. Dahil, kumbaga sa computer, ang pagkakagawa sa akin, yung aking processor, 500 MB lang. Tapos yung akin ng internal memory, 1 gig lang. So, sinong sumunod na speaker after Mr. Guas? Naku, yun na. Kita naman nyo. Research ang pinag-usapan, ang daming accomplishment ng ating research. Tinanong pa tayo kung talaga bang dapat ituloy. Tuloy-tuloy na yan. At siguro baka next year, Europe na ang ating pupuntahang mga... Then, after him, yan, makikita nyo, yan ang graduate ng AIMS, si Miss Regine. Na maraming plano, all the things, anong nangyari before, then mga plano for the next future to come. Then after Regine is si Mr. Mindanao. Yung diniscuss ni Mr. Mindanao, yan na yun. From the beginning, mag-umpisa rin ng AIMS, yun na. Hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin. Hindi lang tinatamaan. Pero little by little, umuusad naman. But with the leadership of Mr. Mindanao, baka sakali. Hindi next year, pero tuloy-tuloy na yan. All the discussion that has been mentioned Dito pala tumama yun, no? Assemble, innovate, manage, and sales. Assemble, we know for a fact, meron na tayong building, meron tayong magandang structure, at meron tayong magandang selections ng mga employees, meron din tayong magandang salary package. So, ibig sabihin, nandyan na yung assembled. Innovations, yan yung mga diniscuss kanina. All of the things that you can see here are innovations. Itong museo, ano pa yung mga diniscuss? Puro mga dagdag yun para lalo pa tayong tumibay. And management, we have a very good management. Sabi nga yung integrated safety contingency management, yung ating quality assurance management, and of course, yung sa academics. But mostly yung sa academics ay dito tumatama sa sales. Habang naglalayag ang barko ni Captain Willie Hado P. Abid, tuloy-tuloy yung ating implementations nito. Yan. And of course, sa research, tuloy-tuloy din yan. Hindi natin titigilan yan. Last, na pwede kong sabihin, may naalala ko si Mr. Mindanao kanina. Have you noticed? Pero nakita ko na yun sa kaibigan ko. Nandito yung microphone niya. Di ba? Pero very effective. Kaya lang naalala ko sa kaibigan ko, tuwing kakain siya, doon agad naisubo. Nasanay dito eh. But anyway, meron akong dumaan sa mind ko kanina. Ang sabi ano ba? Yun lang. Anong sabi ko? Ang processor ko is 500 MB, tapos ang aking memory is 1 gig lang. Puno na. So medyo nakalimutan. Ito yung last. To get things started, let's quit talking and begin doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, our Vice President for Administration, Engineer Teodolfo Cada. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Last year, we enjoined the community and our stakeholders and our audience to experience AIMS. Today, we were taken to a journey to realize our past, to take care of our assets, to connect with each other, to perform our academic developments. Now, this year, we enjoin the rest of the community and the AIMS family to assemble, innovate, manage, and sail, raise your destiny, and be AIMS. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. May we request po our executives po to have a photo op real quick? Yan. Ma'am, tawagin ko po. May we request for our executives, deans, and directors to have a photo op? Sir, photo po muna tayo, Sir Ronel. Sir, deans and directors po and executives. Sir, picture po muna tayo. Ma'am Kayab. Sir, photo po muna tayo. Ma'am, photo. Baywatch, Jubes, photo. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Let's go po. Adjust.